Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
correcting misinformation and sharing little known facts about BTS's V. So we're continuing with this series. We have done Jun. Now it's time for V. Let's see.
We've all heard the term Taeyong language or Tae language, but do you really know what it means, or have you just been nodding along? Is V really one quarter Filipino? Was Layover actually overrated, or did Taeyong pull off one of the boldest debuts in K-pop history without most people even realizing it or recognizing it? But when it comes to V, myths and half-truths spread faster than facts. That's what you get when you are that popular. But behind the whispers are stories that reveal his wit, discipline, artistry, and even the moments when he single handedly kept BTS from falling apart. This isn't just about debunking rumors, it's about rediscovering Taeyong through the little known facts that prove how much more there is to him than the headlines ever capture. Here are 10 most common misinformation and little known facts about V. Is just gibberish. Taeyong's brain always seems to run a few miles ahead of his mouth. That's why what comes out often feels like half a thought. I think he assumes the rest of us can fill in the blanks, or he's probably not even aware his brain is going too fast. Well, I'm not a speech therapist or a psychologist, but I think it's less nonsense and more speed of genius. The famous TED language isn't gibberish at all. It's a quirky mix of saying the adverb before the verb and swapping out words for
I want to hear
gestures.
an
For
example of
example,
that.
instead of saying I want
It's probably in Korean, so like we wouldn't really
Oh,
get
that's
it.
true.
I think this is, the Koreans can feel it.
to eat meat today after rehearsals, he'll go, I today rehearsal, and then he'll use a hand motion to show it's done instead of actually saying it. Eat meat, and then motions how excited he is instead of actually saying it. So the sentence is sort of mixed up. It's not wrong, just inventive. Yes, he peppers in slang, but that's par for the course among native speakers. The real source of confusion is his one of a kind syntax paired with physical stand ins for words. Even V himself admitted in a group live stream with RM, Jungkook, and V that he actually fixed it already. Did you
That's
know
so
V
interesting.
kept BTS together in 2018? When BTS nearly disbanded,
I
it was
feel
V who
like that's
quietly
like when you're young and I don't know if he has siblings, but you have a language you and your sibling can understand
Mm-hmm.
with one another, and you talk like in code.
arranged a 3-day camera free trip so the members could reset and talk honestly. No fancy itinerary, just eating, lounging, and remembering who they were to each other. Looking back, the members often credit that break with pulling them back together from the edge. V isn't exactly the type who talks extensively on how he contributes to the team. But this vacation and his initiative to actually make this happen proves that he isn't just smart. He's very empathetic that allows him to think of ways to glue the team back together exactly when they need it the most. So the next time someone claims he doesn't care about BTS or secretly wants out, remind them. V was the one who literally pulled the group back in one room when they were on the brink of walking away.
Maybe you need a little less.
Myth. V is a quarter Filipino. V's family background is one of the most speculated in K pop, mostly because of how private he is, and that should be respected. The rumor about him being part Filipino appears to trace back to a random Facebook post that spread through Quora. But to date, I haven't found any receipt, any screenshot, or any kind of recording that proves he actually stated this. Just note that I'm not saying it isn't true. All I'm saying is that there is no proof that he actually stated this. Other fan theories claim that his current mom is actually a stepmother or that he lived with his grandmother because of a parental separation. Again, all this are speculation and a disrespectful one at that. What V has actually said, he was raised with love by his grandmother, and that his father is an inspiration to him, and that his mom has always taken care of him. He has two younger siblings. Both remain grounded and unimpressed by his fame. To them, he's just Taeyong the brother, not V the superstar. This proves just how well raised they are. Maybe it's time we leave the family drama to gossip boards and focus instead on his music, photography, ambassadorship, and art.
I'm still a
Did
little
you know that
confused
V
why
trained
he would shy away owning his Filipino side.
Uh, Well, we don't know if there's Filipino side. I guess it's just he doesn't talk about it, which
But wouldn't you know, like, what's his background?
uh I personally, if there was rumors going on, I would want to clarify. Like, no, I'm not. Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
He chooses not to. I mean, he doesn't have to, qualified, qualify, clarify. Uh, yeah, that's his choice. I mean, it is what it is. I would clarify because why not? I mean, I don't, unless there's something he does, he's not proud of. But aside from that, you just like say, kind of, especially if he's not Filipino. I feel like, oh, I would make that clear. I'm not. Now, the fact that he doesn't makes a little bit more like maybe he is. I don't know, but it's up to him to make that known.
In martial arts? Sure. Jungkook and Jimin boast black belts, and Suga's got a red belt. But don't sleep on V. As a kid, he trained in martial arts. In fact, up until 2016, he was talking about being very much into martial arts. He also joined a dance crew. And as we all know, he also picked up the saxophone, all at the same time. He even went to camps. That physicality and discipline made him a natural fit for the Special Duty Team or SDT later on. Just because he doesn't talk about it 24/7 doesn't mean he isn't lethal. Maybe he's just humble. Myth. V didn't plan on being an idol. That's why he never took training seriously. The story goes that V tagged along to an audition without meaning to apply. That part is true. He's talked about it several times. But it doesn't mean he wasn't serious about being a singer. On the contrary, he dreamed of singing since grade school. That's why his dad encouraged him to learn an instrument. At the same time, he also joined a dance club in school that covered K pop choreographies. He knew what he wanted from the very beginning and he put in the work early. That's why he's a natural in singing and he's a natural in dancing. So, yes, he may have stumbled into that audition, but don't mistake coincidence for the lack of ambition and preparation. Did you know his grandmother thought Big Hit was a scam? When V got into Big Hit after
Mm.
singing, dancing, rapping, beatboxing, and even playing the saxophone at his audition, he proudly told his grandmother that he was the only one from Daegu to actually pass. And her response? She thought it was a scam. Who can blame her? I would have thought the same too. However, V remained thrilled, and the rest, as they say, is history. Myth. V's debut album, Layover, was too safe. While Layover is pop infused, no other Korean idol soloist or group has ever released an album as close to a jazz record as this one. There have been other idols who has done or released one or two songs, but never an entire album infused.
What do you mean? How can that be a myth? Was too safe? That's not a myth. That's just an opinion. Like if somebody feels that his album was too safe, that's how they feel. You can't tell them no, it wasn't. Like
Or maybe that's just what she calls the rumors.
no, like she said myth was because people, I guess the general public thought that his album was too safe. But that's not a myth though. That's an opinion. If people felt that way, they felt that way. I don't know. We weren't around here to react. I don't know what the album is like, so I can't say too safe or not. But that's just an opinion though. It's not myth or fact. Is something can be fact. Like this is, you can't say, oh, it wasn't too safe for a fact. Like it's not something that's factual. Though that's all I'm saying. It's just an opinion.
With jazz. Each track in Layover channels a different jazz mood. Rainy Day drips with lo-fi lounge and neo soul. Blue smolders like a late night torch song. Love Me Again shimmers with vocal jazz elegance. For us, carries soul jazz warmth. The centerpiece, slow dancing, is straight up bossa nova, complete with brushed drums and a saxophone solo straight out of the 60s. The stripped down piano version could pass for a smoky jazz ballad in a back alley club. Far from safe, Layover was bold, an experiment in mood, texture, and restraint. And considering there aren't a lot of K pop fans who are also jazz fans, that gives you an idea just how popular V actually is. More importantly, how good the record was. It shows intimacy over spectacle, atmosphere over flashiness, It's an album that set V apart not just from his BTS bandmates, but from the whole K pop landscape. That leads us to the next point. Did you know V paved the way for soloists? Layover made history. It was the first album by a Korean soloist to chart every track on Billboard's Global 200 and Global Exclusive US. First K soloist album to debut all songs on Spotify's Global Weekly chart. First to sell over 2 million copies of an album. First to push all tracks past 150 million streams. And first to sell 100,000 units in the US. And there's many more. Those are trailblazing numbers, not safe ones. And remember, this is a jazz album.
Showing up late on purpose.
So busy.
Here's another myth. V never struggled in training because he never took it seriously. In their rookie years, V was the chatty one, the energetic one, and he himself admitted the training wasn't as tough at first as he'd expected. But the hardship caught up with him. He once told his father that he wanted to quit. In the show You Quiz on the Block, he did say that his father didn't stop him. His dad gently said, "If it's too hard, you can quit. There are lots of other jobs. Let's look for one together." That compassion jolted Taeyong into realizing he didn't want to quit after all. He stayed. And thank God he did. BTS won't be BTS if V wasn't there.
All that kind of says to me is that he didn't really want to quit. He just wanted the father to say don't quit, but the father said quit, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, I gotta find my inner motivation because my father ain't gonna motivate
To
me.
do something else. with the
Yeah,
father.
yeah. All it's just always just he didn't really want to quit.
And did you know that V was one of the first ones in the vocal line to actually take songwriting seriously? Because V didn't pen any tracks in Layover, critics love to say he isn't invested in the creative process. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. As early as 2016, he told interviewers his goal was to compose and produce. He studied instruments like the trumpet and violin outside of the saxophone to become a better musician. In a live stream, he even described his songwriting process. He said, and I quote, "I usually write melodies first, then lyrics. If I write lyrics first, the melody changes too much. It's frustrating. So I write the melody first." That's not someone uninterested. That's someone obsessed with craft. As you know, this is a series. I'm just going through each member. But if there's anything that you want me to verify, even if I've done them already, if there's any information you want me to verify about RM, Suga, Jin, anybody that I've already done, I can always do a part two. Just send it to me. You can leave it in the comments.
Okay, I guess that's it. But so she said she done RM and Sugar already, so I guess we have to go back because we only seen Jin. Okay.
Okay. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.